into their first roles in tech across the world. Slicer will see exactly why we are going through all this stress just to bring in a particular number, right? So now to adjust this, I can just double click inside the text box again, highlight the.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mary. Thank you so much to the entire analytics team. We are really, really grateful. All right, so I believe that with the emojis that are flooding the whole place, you're already getting the feedback. Let's go ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Pleasure to be here. My name is Treasure Akiopo, and I am the consultant and partnership lead at Analytics. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us.
About more than a million rules. Okay? And please make sure you show up on time tomorrow because we are going to complete an interactive dashboard tomorrow.
Really appreciation to you, Precious Asinwata, and also to Analytics for this very insightful training. The tempo was very, very high from the beginning to the very end. And I can see the interaction in the room and people were following where I am. I have a couple of participants also who are also practicing as well, also going through this session. So we really appreciate this and we look forward to something greater. And I believe participants on the call will also join on time like we did today. Thank you so much.
All right, so just like my colleague mentioned, so this is a collaboration between Analytics and Nigerian breweries. It's a 2-day training and we're going to take a look at Excel. And one other thing, you have different slicer designs over here that you can choose from. Okay, but all of these they don't correspond with our dashboard.
Yeah, it's been good, more like a refresher and finding out things that are actually new or things you didn't know you could do. The pace was
much. This is very, very educative and very interactive. For me, it's a kind of eye-opener to what I can do in Excel. I can do more, better than what I used to do. Thank you.
Welcome abroad to today's session, and it's a joint effort between Analytics and Meccano Motors. We are here to take your Excel skills to the next level. Between revenue that comes in and cars that were sold, there's a bit of relationship. Let me use that word, relationship, between number of cars sold in a year and number of revenue that comes in. Although there's a distinction.
Thank you so much, Ibrahim. We really appreciate this lesson today, first of all. And you really broke these things down for us to understand and to learn, especially using pivot table, how to use the count using the pivot table, and also how to use the functions of sum, count, and average and other stuff. So
thank you once again. It's been wonderful and it's been happening today. Just like yesterday, the delivery is smooth and the knowledge that you've passed is really wonderful and I really appreciate it.
And cars that were sold, there's a bit of relationship. Let me
Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to another webinar or one of the masterclass, I would say, where we're going to understand how you can think like an analyst. That's what we're going to explore. We're going to learn a lot. If you were already in the data space, maybe you already have an idea of what analytics is all about, or maybe you're already a data analyst or you're a data scientist. You're still going to learn a lot from the session today. Or maybe you have no clue what it means to be a data analyst and you have no clue what it means to be a data scientist or a financial analyst or maybe a HR analyst, and you are looking to get into the space. This is a session that you're going to be learning a lot from as well. Now, before we go ahead, there's something that's very, very important that I have to do and that you have to do for each and every one of us to have a fantastic session today. It is very important. It is necessary. Okay? And what is that? For you to get the most out of this session, you have to communicate. Or rather, I'm going to rephrase. We have to communicate. And what's communication? I'm not talking about the kind of communication that you know from the Merriam-Webster dictionary or maybe from the Oxford dictionary. No, I have my own special definition of communication, at least when it comes to webinars. And that is communication is I speak, you speak, and we all speak. Okay, I'll take that again. I speak, you speak, we all speak. That's communication. But again, I understand that we have a lot on the call, and of course, more people are going to join us. So we don't want to have a ruckus where everyone unmutes and everyone speaks, because if everyone is speaking, they know who's speaking. So how then can you communicate? How then do we communicate? What is the medium of communication that we are now going to be working with? That is the chat box. So the way you can communicate with me is by using the chat box. And like I said, communication is very, very important. So if you have a question, go ahead and use the chat box. Send that over to the chat box. If you have a feedback, go ahead and use the chat box. When I also ask a question, because again, communication is a two-way street. So you'll be speaking via the chat box. I'll be speaking via my microphone. Okay, so we have to communicate and just to test things out to ensure that we are all on the same page so we get the most out of the session, just to test out the communication I've talked about. I want you to send an ice cream to the chat box if you're with me. Don't ask why I said ice cream. You'll figure it out later on. Okay, but if you know you're with me, you're good to go. You're ready to learn a lot from this session. I want you to send in ice cream to the chat box. Ice cream, ice cream. Don't you know ice cream? Ice cream, the snack. So I want you to send ice cream to the chat box if you're with me. If no one is with me, I guess we could also just end the session right now. Okay. Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much, Samson. So Samson is with me. Samson says ice cream. Thank you very much, Samson. Oluwatu also says ice cream. Edwin says ice cream. Alobi says ice cream. Kayode says ice cream. Idowu says ice cream. Fantastic. Good to know that we are together. Okay. Now, I will tell you the reason I called for the saying of ice cream later on. But right now, if you know you've not responded, I want you to send a response and just type in ice cream. Anyways, yeah, thank you very much, Sullivan. Thank you. Anyways, let's get into the main business for the day. This is going to be a conversation. Okay, the entire session is going to be more of a conversation than me just speaking. So of course, I don't think I need to also explain what a conversation means, just like the way I did for communication. We are already conversing. I talked about ice cream. I said send ice cream to the chat box, and we can see a lot of ice cream. And they said ice cream. Okay, so but we're going to be conversing. So I'm going to say something. I'm going to need you to respond. I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to need you to respond. I want you to ask me a question, and of course, I'm going to respond. So this is not just going to be your everyday webinar. This is not just going to be your everyday masterclass. This is going to be something even more. This is going to be something even unique, more unique. So stay tuned because we're going to have an amazing time. And let's move on. Pulling up my screen. Just going to share my screen. Great. So what we are taking a look at today is think like an analyst. The modern skills for the data professional. I mentioned this already. And I said that if you are a data analyst, or if you are a data scientist, you are going to get a lot, get a lot from this session. And even if you're not a data analyst at this point, or you're not a data scientist at this point, and you're just looking to explore the space, or maybe that's not even the case. Maybe right now you just decide to take a look at this to see how you can also help your employees, how you can also look at ways to upskill your employees in your organization, because of course that's what we do at Analytics Business, which I would introduce later on. Okay, so if that's the reason why you're here, you're going to get a lot from this session. So what are we looking at? The three criteria, or rather the three category of people that we have. Those that are already data analysts or data scientists, are you going to get a lot from the session? Yes, you are. Number two, those that are interested in data analytics, those that are interested in data science, are you going to get a lot from the session? Yes, you are. And number three, those that are looking to get their employees, or you have someone, or you have a group of people that you would like to become data analysts, or you're looking at ways to also input analytics in your own business, in your own organization, are you going to get a lot from this session? The answer is yes. All right then. When it comes to thinking like an analyst, we first of all have to explore data. And data today is just like raw crude oil. Everyone knows crude oil. It's valuable, but only after it has been refined. And guess who does the refining? It's the analyst. Just like you have the crude oil that you have to refine, you have to work on to get you your petrol, your diesel, your kerosene, your petroleum jelly, I think there's also the bitumen. Yeah. Yeah, so there are a couple of things that you get from petrol, from crude oil, but it has to be refined. That's the same thing that you have to do when it comes to data. Everyone has data. Data is now a very, very big thing. Every organization generates data. But for you to be able to make sense of that data, you need to refine it. And that's where the analyst comes in. But introducing us, Analytics Business. Who is Analytics Business? What do we do? So Analytics Business is a premier e-learning and corporate training platform. And what we do is just one thing. We make your dreams come true. Your dreams as an organization, okay? Your dreams as a business. We make your dreams come true. I'm going to take that again. I think I'm just going to mute everyone. Okay? I'm going to take that again so you don't think I'm mincing words. No, I'm not. We make your dreams come true, either as an individual or as a business. Because something that we've realized is that many organizations, many businesses, they want to increase productivity on their employees. And some organizations, they get it wrong, thinking that you have to look elsewhere to get someone else, to bring a new professional, when the path to go is to upskill your employees to be able to improve their productivity, improve their efficiency, and of course, at the end of the day, make more money as an organization. Because you probably know that as well, that it's more expensive, and this is the truth, it's actually more expensive for you to bring someone new than for you to upskill your employees. So when you upskill your employees, you're doing what? You are saving cost. When you upskill your employees, you're doing something else. You're improving loyalty between the employees and the organization. And that's the reason why it's very, very important that your employees upskill. It's very, very important that you increase your productivity as a business. Either you're looking at ensuring that your employees know how to analyze data to be able to extract data-driven insights, or you're looking to automate your processes. You want your employees, you want the staff to be able to know, how can we be more productive? How can we use AI to get things done at a quicker time? Or you're looking at building up databases. All and everything. That's why we are here. Going back to what I said earlier, we make dreams come true. You can think of us as Santa Claus, or as is also known in some parts of the world, Father Christmas. Okay, and what do? They bring the gifts of kids. So maybe child wants a PS5 for Christmas. What happens? It gets the PS5. So what do you want? We are your Santa, and we'll make it happen. That's what we do. And we've been able to train so many organizations, from MTN to CUDA to InfraCredit and a whole lot more that you probably see in one of my slides. But anyways, that's it about Analytics Business. What about me? I'm Aisha Agmalahor, and I'm the lead in charge of training and operations at Analytics. Of course, you can see my name from the bottom left, okay, the name tag. And I have experience ranging from data analytics to business analysis, platform engineering, data engineering, also predictive AI engineering as well. So I've been able to work across different organizations, for example, Grounded Pathways in the US. I've also been able to work with, of course, Analytics, Singaporean organizations too, such as KY. And I also operate as a consultant and a freelancer, actively contributing to digital transformations. I've also been able to train over 2,500 individuals across 4 continents, I might add. And those are just some of the mundane things, the more ordinary things about me. There's some other unique things, some more exciting things, which during the course of the session, you get to find out. But all of these things you can see on the screen right now, these are ordinary. They're more exceptional things, more exciting things I might add. But yeah, that's me. And of course, you can also call me Aisha. That's mostly for close friends and relatives. But yeah, I'm Aisha. And moving on to but before we even move on, okay, just to reconfirm that we are all together, I'm trying to reconfirm now. I want you to send ice cream to the chat box. Ice cream, just to confirm that you're still with me. We're 12 minutes in, we're ready to go, we're ready to push. I need you to send ice cream to the chat box. I'm going to be taking a look at the chat box. Oh, thank you very much, Ido. Clement, are you with me? Okay. Clement, are you with me? Kayode, are you with me? Oh, thank you very much, Taufik. Thank you, Onyeye Chuku. Thank you very much, Precious. Thank you, Adeni. Okay. What about you, Ogene? Akise? I'm just gonna say Akise. Okay. What about you? Are you with me? Okay. Marty is with me. David is with me. Blessing is with me. Faith is with me. Okay. Adeni is with me. Great. Fantastic. So one one fact that I'm going to talk about, but before that, yeah, I mentioned that we've trained so many organizations. So these are some of the organizations we've trained as Tenality's business, and that's from MTN to Arik Air to Fair Money. You saw some of the testimonials, and for those that joined the session at the start, okay, before we started in terms officially, before we officially started, there were testimonials that were being played. So I'm sure we also got to listen to some of the testimonials from these organizations. And over the past 5 years, because we've been in this for over 5 years now, we've been able to help 60,000 individuals. That's looking at the individuals in the corporate space across Africa, Europe, the Americas, and also Asia, across different career paths, across different programs, from data analytics to data science to business analysis to financial analytics to HR analytics, data engineering, Power Platform as well as Scrum, and also cybersecurity, and of course also AI when it comes to knowing how you can use AI to automate processes. We've also taught individuals on that as well. Enough of the introduction. Let's get into the main business, and that takes us to a very, very not well-known fact. Or maybe the fact is actually well known, and maybe I just live in the bubble, and that's the reason why I think it's not well known. So pardon me, forgive me, if what I just mentioned is false, which is that this is actually a well-known fact. Maybe that's the truth, but I don't think it's well known. What's the fact? The fact has to do with data, and it is that over 90% of the currently available data, was generated in the last 5 years. In the last 5 years. Is that correct? Humans have been existing. We've been doing things. It's not like we've not been living. And what is data? Data is everything. That's my definition, my own unique definition. What's data? Data is everything. Right now, we're on this call. I'm speaking. That's data. The number of people on the call, in this session, in this webinar, that's data. My slides, what's the content? That's data. The time that we're going to spend on this call, that's data. Data is everything. But Aisha said, if you say data is everything, then how come over 90% of currently available data was generated in the past 5 years? That means that data has always been existing. Yeah, but in the past 5 years, we've had more activities, we've had more organizations, we've had more businesses generating data due to the era that we are currently in. Fun fact, data is one of the backbones behind your LLMs. That's your large language models, AI, your ChatGPT, your Grok, your Copilot, which of them do you know? Okay, send them to the chat box. I know Copilot. Then we have Gemini. Then we also have Claude AI. We have Julius. We have DeepSeek. Thank you very much, Blessing. We also have Oluko. Okay, we have Oluko is Analytics AI. We have our very own AI as well. Yeah. So Verna says OpenSea. I've never come across that, but you can see there are a lot. So all of these models, they're actually built on the base And what is that base? What is that foundation? It's data. The way this models are built is that they get to read, let's put it that way. Okay, I'm just going to say read. They get to read up on information. They get to read all of this data. And then when you ask a question, they try to identify patterns that match what you are asking. But this is not an AI class. We'll get into that some other time. But all everything I said was just to establish that this is the time that we have more data. We have over 90% of the world's data was created in the last 5 years. Yet, most companies are data rich and insight poor. Ask yourself, in your business, let's say you're having a staff at some organization, ask yourself, in my company where I work, are we insight poor? Because every organization, the goal of every organization, or rather, the goal of most organizations is to generate profit. So if you're money rich, but you are insight poor, it's only a matter of time before you become money poor. That's a punchline. Jot it down, write it down. If you have a notepad, please write that down. That's a punchline. Okay, I need a round of applause. I need a round of applause. That was a punchline. I'm gonna take it again. Okay, I'm gonna take it again. If a company is what? If the company is money rich but insight poor, it's only a matter of time before they become what? Money poor. And why did I say that? You might ask. Because with insights, you are going to be able to understand what the market is saying. You are going to be able to understand what your customers are saying. You are going to be able to make valid decisions that would help increase your growth as a company. Gone are the days where decisions were made based on opinions. In fact, there's this other saying, which, maybe this might be more popular than this. And what does the saying say? What does the saying say? Anyways, what does the saying say? The saying says that if we have data, let's look at data. And if all we have are opinions, then let's go with mine. Take that again. If we have data, let's look at data. And if all we have are opinions, then let's go with mine. Because no one cares about what you think. All they want to know, what does the data say? And that's where you step in. That's where modern analysts step in. And that takes us to, who is an analyst today? Because believe it or not, analysts have actually been existing, at least for a long while. There's always been data. Just that most of the data that's currently available was generated in a couple of, like I said, in the last 5 years. But there have always been data analysts. Okay? There have always been data analysts. So what is the difference between the data analyst of old and the data analyst of today? So I can see Blessing actually noted that down. Okay? If a company is money rich but insight poor, it's only a matter of time before they have poor. That's a unique take. That's a very unique take. I think that's fantastic. Blessing. That's a very unique take. So that's it. Okay, that's the way it goes. That is the way it goes. So who is an analyst? Who is an analyst? Today, not who is a data analyst. That's what we were talking about. But rather, who is an analyst today? An analyst today does several things. But what about the analyst of old? What does the analyst of old do? The analyst role has actually evolved. It's no longer about you just waiting for someone to ask for a report. Because if you're a data analyst in the house, you probably know that, data analysts, there are lots of reports. You do a lot of reports, build a lot of dashboards, those kind of stuff. But as a modern data analyst, you are not just someone waiting to be asked of a report. No. Today, analysts are expected to think critically. You have to be able to reason. You have to be able to think. You also need to be able to ask the right questions. Analysts today need to be able to ask the right questions. Analysts today need to be able to automate repetitive tasks. Analysts today need to be able to turn data into decisions fast. You are now part detective, you're part storyteller, and you're also part business partner. That's the summary. But to break it further down so that everyone understands, we are going to take a look at what the analyst of old did. Analyst of old, what did they do? Data entry. I still see some people just saying, "Oh, what do you do?" What was it called? I'm a data specialist. Part of my skills is data entry, and I'm like, data. The people still manually enter data because many organizations, things are now automated. You have databases where the information is coming directly from a website, it's going into a database, and all you need to do is export. Sorry, all you need to do is import. Import. So data entry. If your company is still manually entering data, there's a problem. If your company is still manually entering data, there is a problem, especially when the data you have like lots and lots of data that you manually enter. I repeat, there is a problem. And then you have Excel heavy lifting. Don't get me wrong, Excel is a wonderful tool. Excel is not going away anytime soon because people think, oh, Excel is gone, Excel is gone, Excel is gone. That's really not the case. But gone are the days where all you depended on was Excel. Don't quote me wrongly. I'm not saying Excel is not relevant. I'm just saying Excel is no longer the only relevant tool. The data analyst of then, they were reactive. It was always about what happened. Oh, what happened last year? We made £50,000 in terms of per month in terms of profits. Oh, last year we made £50,000 in profit every month. Oh, what happened? How many products did we sell this month or last month? It's always what happened. And what is what happened? That's you taking a look at historical data. And that's actually called your descriptive analytics. Because there are two kinds of analytics. That's your descriptive analytics. So analysts of old, all they depended on was what? On descriptive analytics, where it was always reactive. What happened? What did we do? What did we do? What did we do? Analysts of old were siloed from business decisions. Siloed from business decisions. What does it mean to be siloed from business decision? Siloed. What does it mean? Siloed from business decisions means that no one cares about what you think. When decisions are being made, your opinion is not called for. When decisions are being made, you're told, shoo, get out from the room. When decisions are being made, you exit yourself without even being asked to exit because you know that that's the next thing that's going to be said. So you were not really there to help in making business decisions, but rather you were there in telling what happened. And that's a bit stale, if you ask me. Okay, that's a bit stale. What does that mean? It means that you get tired after some point. I believe that if you want to be a data analyst, you want to be part of the people making change that happen. Anyways, we are still on the data analyst of then. The data analyst of then focused on charts and tables. That's all your focus was on. I need to build a report. I need to build a dashboard. There's no what chart should I use or table should I use? That was the focus. It is all on visuals, graphs, charts, tables. The data analyst of then was measured by output. And what do I mean by measured by output? Because you might be thinking, I should say, every employee is measured by output. Not really. Data analysts of then measured by output were data analysts that the number of dashboards you were able to build in a month, the number of analysis you were able to carry out. That's output. That's old school. What about the data analyst of today? The data analyst of now? The data analyst of now, they are business problem solvers, number one. You cannot say you are a you cannot say you are a data analyst if you can solve problems. You can't say you are a data analyst if you can solve problems. And when I say solve problems, I'm not talking about the generic problem solving, because everyone, especially Africans, okay, we are always like we can solve problems, or we can solve. Oh, you go to an interview. I've been in a lot of interviews at the other side. I've interviewed so many people, and I'm going to tell you for free. There are two questions that that you are most likely going to get yes. Okay, that you're most likely going to get yes as an answer when you ask the interviewee. Yeah, I believe it's called the interviewee. That's the person that you're interviewing for the role. There are two questions you're very sure you're going to get positive responses. Number one is, can you work under pressure? Everyone is like, oh, yes, I can work under pressure. In my last company, I was the pressure master. In my last company, they gave me 5 projects under 2 minutes, and I was able to solve all of the projects in 1 second. When you talk about pressure, I'm the best. I can work under pressure. You always know you're gonna get a yes as a recruiter. And the second question that that you are also gonna get a yes is when you ask the interviewee, can you solve problems? Oh, yes, I can solve problems. I'm a very good problem solver. In fact, in my family, whenever anyone has a problem, I'm the one that they call and say, please, we have this problem. Please help us solve this problem. I'm a problem solver. Problem solving, immediately I was born, my mom gave me a Rubik's Cube to solve, and I was able to solve it. I am a problem solver. You know that you're going to get yes, always. But that's not the kind of problem solving I'm talking about here. The problem solving I'm talking about here is, can you solve business problems using data problem solving techniques? Problem solving techniques such as the 5 whys, the MISI model, the McKinsey, the MISI model, of course, that's McKinsey. You have the prioritization matrix, the decision tree, the Cripps DM framework. Do you know how to work with each and every one of these methodologies in solving problems? If the answer is no, then you are not a problem solver. You are a dashboard builder that claims to be a data analyst. Because a data analyst is not a professional that all you do is build dashboards. It's a professional that solves problems. So if you can solve problems as a data analyst, I repeat, you are not a data analyst. You are a dashboard builder. So if you currently have that in your LinkedIn, you have data analyst and you can solve problems, please go there right now, take it off and replace with dashboard builder. Yeah, that's on the lighter note anyways. That's on the lighter note. But yeah, you have to be able to solve problems. And then cross-skilled. You need to have multiple skills. As a data analyst, the skills, not just Excel, know how to work with SQL, know how to work with BI tools. Python, not necessary for a data analyst, but for a data scientist, of course, you need to know how to use Python. But for a data analyst, Python, okay, yeah, you could, not really necessary. But your BI tools, what are your BI tools? That's your business intelligence tools. Tools like your Power BI, tools like your Tableau. You also need to know how to work with these tools. Your SQL. SQL is the language of databases. SQL is the language of databases, while Python is the language of data. There are two different things. SQL is the language of databases, and then Python is the language of data. With SQL, you are able to query databases. As a data analyst, you need to know how to work with SQL. And then when you're looking to now do more as a data analyst, let's not get into the realm of data science, then you're looking at also adding in Python to your skill set. As a data analyst, you need to be proactive. What does that mean? Don't just keep telling people what's happened, but rather also tell people, what should we do next? What did we make last year? Or what did we make last year in terms of profits? Last year we made £1 million in terms of profits, or we made $1 million in terms of profits. Okay, don't just stop there. Based on my analysis, I noticed that $1 million is actually short of our past year target. So this is what I think we should do for the new year to cross that threshold, looking at the data. Use data to solve problems. Don't just be someone that reports. Be someone that tells us what we need to do. Own it. Be proactive. And then you have embedded in strategy and operations. Data analysts of today, they are part of strategies, they are part of operations. They are not just at one corner analyzing data. No, when it's time to make decisions, they are consulted. What do you think? What does the data say? What do you think we should do? Because again, remember, I made a statement. I said, or rather, I gave a phrase. No, not a phrase. I gave a sentence. I gave a saying. Yeah. And what was I saying? That if we have data, let's look at data. And if all we have are opinions, then let's go with mine. So organizations are now looking for people that will tell them what the data says. And that is the reason why, as a data analyst, you are now integral to strategy and operations. Data analysts of now are focused on actionable insights. Data analysts of now are measured by impact. What you told us to do, based on what the data said, what was the result for us as an organization? That is impact. That's the difference between data analysts of then and data analysts of now. The modern data analyst doesn't just report numbers. They drive decisions. They drive decisions. And of course, this now takes us to something else, which is the analyst mindset. How can you think as an analyst? That's the topic for the session today, after all. Think like an analyst. So how then do you think like an analyst? Do you just go to bed one night and you wake up one morning and then you now have the analyst brain or the analyst thinking mindset? Is that the way it works? For you to be able to think like an analyst, there are certain things that you have to do. There are certain things that you have to implement. And the first of that is curiosity. You have to be curious, not just asking why, not just asking how, but also asking why. I keep using revenue as an example because that's something that every company can relate to. How much did we make last year? We made $1 million. But why? How much did we make last year? We made $10 million in profit. But why? Why? Why did we make $1 million? Why did we make $10 million in profits? Why? Was it something that we did? Was there a new product that we launched that the customers loved? What happened? The reason why you want to know why is so that if the result is positive, you can keep replicating to keep getting positive results. And if the result is negative, you can try something else so you don't keep getting negative results. It's not enough to know the how. You have to know the why. It's the why that moves businesses from point A to point B. Point A is where they are at the moment. Point B is where they want to be. Point B is where they want to be. I need to get into music. I need to get into music. I don't know. I need to leave tech. I get into music. I'll sell my concert tickets. At least I know everyone on the call. You guys are gonna come to my show. Okay, I've been dropping some bars. So point B is where they want to be, where the company wants to be. So you have to know why to be able to take them to that point. And then we also have what? Data first. The way you think, not just tool first. I think so many data analysts asking questions like, oh, are we going to use Excel? Are we going to use this to analyze the data? What are we going to use? Are we going to use SQL? No. Think about the data first. The tools are just the means, not the mindset. Avoid jumping into dashboards. Every data analyst just builds dashboards. Everyone is just, oh, dashboard, dashboard, dash. There's a lot of that. Everyone can build reports. Everyone can build dashboards, but not everyone can think. When you think, that's what is going to make you a data analyst, not the dashboard that you are building. You have to think about the data. What kind of problem is my dashboard going to solve? What kind of result am I looking out for? Those two things is what is going to help you think like a data analyst. You have to think about the data first, not the tool. And then also structured thinking. When it's time to work on your data, break down your problems logically. Use problem-solving frameworks like the MISI model, the root cause analysis, or your hypothesis. Maybe data analysts don't even know all of these methodologies. It's a big problem. Because, again, you can be a data analyst if you can't solve problems. You have to be able to be problem solvers, knowing how to work with all of those things in solving problems. Then you also have the storytelling instinct. How well can you tell a story? A data analyst is just like a translator. Scratch that. A data analyst is just like an interpreter, where, let's say you're speaking to someone, maybe you're speaking French to some, maybe you're speaking French to someone. One great thing about me, I can also speak French. Okay, so I'm looking to be fully conversational at the end of the year, though. So I'm still working on it. Okay, so let's say you're speaking with someone. That's just one of the exciting things about me. And I said you're gonna learn more at the start of the session. So, and what was I saying? Yeah, I remember now. I remember now. So let's say you are speaking to someone that speaks French and you don't know the language. You need a what? You need a translator. You need not a translator, you need an interpreter. A translator, I believe a translator is a device, an interpreter is a person. Yeah, I think that's the difference. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that should be the difference. But you need an interpreter. Someone that's going to help you interpret. Why am I painting this analogy? You at the organization. The organization is the person that's trying to speak with the French person. The French person, okay, the French is actually the data. The business wants to speak with the data, but they don't understand the language of data. But they need information. They need to understand what's going on in the business. They need to communicate. To be able to communicate, they need a data analyst. The data analyst is the interpreter that interprets the language of data to the business. So that means that as a data analyst, if you're not able to fully communicate to the business, to the stakeholders, what the data says, you've not yet completed your job. Because that's the role of a translator, of an interpreter. Just imagine you have an interpreter that understands French, but can't speak English. Okay, let's put it this way: they understand French, they understand English, but can't speak English. So you get an interpreter that understands English, understands you, understands French that you're trying to interpret, but cannot speak English. That's not an interpreter. That's the same thing for a data analyst. So you have a data analyst that can speak the language of data, but the data analyst cannot communicate what the data says to you. That is where storytelling comes in. For you to be a data analyst, you need to be able to tell stories. Stories like the Moonlight, Tales by Moonlight, where you begin with story. What do you guys say? What's the response? Story. No response. No one knows what I'm talking about? Is that the case? No one had Tales by Moonlight. Thank you very much, Tawfiq. Okay, so story. I need responses now. Come on. Are we shy? Okay, it's not the case. Come on, I need my sponsors. Story. Once upon a time, once upon a time, once upon a time, 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 time. There was a man called. But yeah, you need to be able to tell stories with your data. Of course, that does not mean that when you are presenting that you are going to start your data storytelling with story. No, but you should be able to communicate what the data says to the stakeholders. Painting the dashboard in a story format. Your dashboard should not be confusing. Your dashboard is not there. You're not there to build dashboards. You're there to interpret the data. You have to be able to tell stories with your data if you want to be a modern data analyst. And finally, you have to be business aware. You have to connect analysis to the value. You have to know the so what behind the numbers. So what? So what? Okay, so we did this. So what? What is going to happen? I noticed that I'm going back to my revenue example. We made $5 million last year. So what? What is the impact to the business? Oh, we this product is not doing so well in sales. So what? This particular product is doing so well in sales. So what? So what? You are a business. You are a problem solver. You are not just a dashboard builder. For you to be able to carry out your analysis appropriately, you have to understand the business goals. You have to know what the business is trying to achieve. You have to know where the business is trying to go. If you don't know all of these things, you're not a data analyst. You're not. You're a dashboard builder. I said it. Yeah, me. I said it. Quote me nowhere. Okay. So you can go nowhere, you can quote me. Yeah. Anyways, as analysts, you have to be able to think, right? Thinking like an analyst is what separates you from being a button clicker, someone that just knows how to click on buttons, work with the tools. It's what separates you from being a button clicker to be able to becoming a business partner. It's about being curious, you knowing how you can dig deeper, you trying to dig deeper. You're structured enough to be able to frame the right problems, and you're clear enough to tell the story. You need to be able to tell the story that decision makers can act on, because the tools change. A couple of years ago, I believe Power BI came out in the year 2019, if I'm not mistaken. 2019, that's when Power BI came out. Before then, people were analyzing data. So every time they're going to be getting new tools. Oh, over now we have AI and Julius AI for data analytics as well. So there's always going to be new tools. But what doesn't change is the mindset. The mindset remains timeless. The mindset remains timeless. So what are the 4 core pillars of modern analysts? There are 4 core pillars that we're going to explore. The pillars, what actually holds on to, like, oh, I'm the one that's bearing all of the weight of what it means to be a modern analyst. What are those pillars? What are those pillars? The first is the data wrangling. And that's actually talking about cleaning data. Clean data is better than you trying to be clever. What do I mean by that? You find the ways to just, oh, I want to just, the data is still going to work, it's still going to work. No, your data always has to be clean. Cleaning your data, getting cleaned and structured data is actually half the battle. If you are able to get your data looking nice, looking sweet, looking fantastic, your data is the battle that you are fighting has already been half won. You have to be able to clean the data, because clean data makes your analysis a whole lot easier, a whole lot simpler. It makes your analysis a whole lot fantastic. And what tools do you use to clean? I'm going to get into that. But a modern analyst spends around 60 to 70% of the time preparing data. And that's where the quality of insights is born. You have to be able to clean your data. That's where most of the work actually goes into. A clean data is a happy data, and a happy data is a happy data analyst. What are the tools that you work with for clean data? You can use your Excel. On Excel, you have your Power Query. Also, your Power Query is also in Power BI. So if you're using Power BI, you're using Excel, your Power Query, you can use that for nice data cleaning. You have your SQL as well. You have Python for the data scientist. And then you have your cloud sheets and APIs for your real-time data sources that you're trying to just ensure that the data is cleaned directly from the API. But this is not a data cleaning class. So I'm not going to spend all day talking about data cleaning. But just know that this is one of the core pillars of what makes you a modern data analyst. The next thing is your analysis and thinking. You have to be able to think beyond the tools. You have to be able to reason. Analytical thinking, these are the tools. Analytical thinking takes you to a problem solver, because the tools don't solve problems, the people do. And as a data analyst, you don't just think as a data analyst, you're not just thinking in dashboards. You are actually thinking in structure. You are thinking in what you're thinking in structure. You're thinking about how can we get this done? How can we improve? How can we be better? You are dissecting. What's dissecting? You are looking at the data. What's there? Is there something I've not noticed? You are diagnosing. What's diagnosis? Diagnosis is your diagnostic analytics. And what's a diagnostic analytics? Your diagnostic analytics is you being able to figure out why. It's just like in medicine. You go to the hospital, someone goes to the hospital, and maybe they're having symptoms. And then the doctor runs a series of tests and then gives you your diagnosis. Your diagnosis is the reason for the symptoms you are having. So maybe you are having slight fever. Maybe you are having you feel cold. You go for some test, and then the doctor figures out that, oh, you actually have the flu. The flu is the reason why you have running you have runny nose, the reason why you are feeling feverish, the reason why you have a migraine. That's your diagnosis. So bringing back to data. Diagnosis is you figuring out, why did we have $1 million? What's the reason? What's the reason? What is the reason? Because when you know the reason, you can either replicate or you can dilate. Oh, I'm in tune today. I'm the bars I keep dropping. The bars I keep dropping. You guys I need to be signed. Okay, I need to be signed. I need to be signed. I'm gonna take that again. Okay, I'm moving surprised. I'm tripping for my own self. So when you figure out the reason why, you can either you can replicate or you can dilate. Yeah. So that's how a data analyst should think. And then how do you go about this? Your hypothesis-driven analysis. You being able to come up with hypotheses. And what's hypothesis? Wise guesses. Okay, you're making guesses that are probably closer to the truth. The trend spotting and pattern recognition. These has to come into play. This comes into play when you're analyzing your data. You're building your reports. You're using your line charts, and you see, oh, I can see a pattern from this line chart. There's a spike, there's a drop. I can see a pattern over the last couple of months. You have your root cause analysis. You have your frameworks. All of this would help you for your analytical thinking. And then the third pillar is the storytelling and communication. The storytelling and communication. Insight is greater than output. And how do you tell stories? Don't just show the dashboard. Tell the story. Tell the story. Don't just show a dashboard. Tell the story. Stakeholders could care less about what your dashboard shows. All they want to know is, what does it say? We brought you in not to make things technical for us. We brought you in to simplify it to our own understanding. Like I said, a data analyst is just like an interpreter. Just imagine the interpreter, you get the interpreter to translate French, and they're like, oh, they got the translation, and they're also speaking French to you. Doesn't make sense. So, as a data analyst, when you're speaking to your stakeholders, be sure to tell the story. And then the next thing is that data is the what. Data is the what. Data tells you what is happening. Insight is so what. Data is what are we even doing? Because that's what the data is past. Okay, so past records. So what are we even doing? Insight is the so what. Now that we've seen what we are doing, so what? So what are we now going to do? That's the so what. That's the data. Data is the what. Insight is the so what. And how do you figure out the so what? Is by working with your data visualization. And that's this is where everyone excels in building dashboards. Okay, so you have to be able to work with your Power BI, your Tableau, your Looker Studio. You need to be able to write insight pricing, from your executive summaries to your business memos, and that comes into play because as a data analyst, you are going to be given a lot, and I repeat, a lot of presentations. There are going to be a lot of meetings telling them what the data says. Okay, so don't just think you're going to work on data and you go to sleep. That's traditional data analyst, not the modern data analyst. As a modern data analyst, you also have your visual best practices. Your charts, you need to show charts that are clear, not just looking nice. Yes, it should look nice. Two truths can be you can have two truths at the same time. So you don't have a report that doesn't look great, because there are some analysts out there that would always be like, oh, it's not about how your report looks, it's not about how your report looks, which is true. I have no bad blood against that, which is true. But you're also going to be honest with me that the first point of communication that everyone has with something is the visuals, the sights. Before I even decide to want to understand what your dashboard is saying, the visuals have to captivate me. Because when the visuals are looking right, the dashboard is looking clean, the dashboard is looking neat, the dashboard is looking amazing, it makes me even more curious to figure out what is the dashboard really saying. So you can have a dashboard that looks nice and charts and visuals that also show the actual that communicates the actual results in a clear and easy to understand manner, and also presenting insight to your non-technical stakeholders. Of course, you already know that. That's your presentation. That's the top pillar. What about the fourth pillar? The fourth pillar is automating and leverage. Automation and leverage. Automation is the big thing now. You need to not be able to automate. By automating, what you do is that you increase your productivity. Something that you're supposed to get done in 5 days, you get it done in an hour. Automation, you scale yourself with smart tools. And there are a lot of automation tools, not automatic tools. No, that would be me talking about something else. There are a lot of automation tools out there. You have tools like your Zapier, you have tools like your N8N, your Power Automate, which I'll get into. But as a data analyst, automation is not going to replace you. And people think that, oh, AI is going to take my job, AI is going to take my job. No, that's not going to happen. Automation is not going to replace you, but rather it's going to free you. It's going to free you for you to be able to think about what's actually happening. When it comes to AI, automation and AI are two different things, though. Okay, they're not the same. Yeah, they can come together to do fantastic things, but automation and AI are not the same thing. It's two different things. But when it comes to AI, I just want to talk a little bit about AI, because there's this craze. Oh, AI is going to take my job. No, and for the most part, AI is only going to replace those that cannot use AI. AI is only going to replace analysts. Data analysts that will be replaced by AI are those that cannot leverage AI tools. So what that means for you as a data analyst, that you need to know how you can work with tools like your ChatGPT. You need to know how to work with tools such as your even in Power BI, for instance, you have AI in there now. You have co-pilots that can even help you build some of your dashboards. But the co-pilot is not going to help you think. So as a data analyst, don't just see yourself as a dashboard builder. AI can do that as well. But rather, you are now a problem solver. And how do you go about that? How do you go about automation? I talked about there are different tools that can automate repetitive tasks, such as your Power Automate, your N8N, your Zapier. You should be able to schedule reports and email alerts. If you are familiar with Python, you can also carry out Python scripting for your workflows, whereby with the click of a button, several things will just start happening in the background. But I'm not going to go into so much into automation. Just wanted you to know that this is also something to look at. And then you have your AI co-pilots. For example, ChatGPT for quick prototyping. In Power BI, you have your co-pilots within Power BI to also assist you when you are building your dashboards. Over in Excel, you also have your co-pilots in Excel as well. Many people don't work with these tools. You spend days and days and days and days trying to build a dashboard, when that's something you could have done very quickly. And then your role will now be to figure out what the dashboard is really saying, the insights, knowing how you can move the company forward. All of these things being said, this takes us to the final chapter, and that is your growth path. You've decided that, you know what? Okay, I no longer want to be a traditional data analyst. I want to become modern. How then do you grow? How then do you get things done? How then do you become a superstar? The first thing you have to do is you have to learn. That means that if you have no clue what it means to be a data analyst, you have to learn. You've been wisdom. Okay, I need to see how I can improve data analytics in my company. You need to upskill your employees. You need to ensure your employees learn the fundamentals. And that is your Excel, your SQL, your data cleaning, your charting basics. You have to build your technical foundation. And then you move on to practicing structured thinking. How do you think? Break down problems, ask better questions, use frameworks, think like a consultant, not a coder. That takes you to the third. Build, project, and share work. Build your project, share your work. Especially if you are in a company. Maybe you're in a company and right now you're looking at ways that you even want to be, you want that promotion. You're looking at ways to even upskill yourself within your company. Share your work. You've learned data analytics. Go ahead and start building dashboards for the company, even without being told. Ask your team lead, can I get access to our data? I would like to show you the insights. Ask your managers. Show up. Build a portfolio with your dashboard. Post on LinkedIn. Okay, post on LinkedIn. Show your skills in action. What all of this will do for you is that it's now going to help you in your communication and your influence, because now you have backup. You have something that you can use as a source of proof to show to your stakeholders that this is something I can do, so that you now become the go-to person whenever there needs to be clarity. And of course, that is now going to lead you to the next level in your organization. If your company, every company generates data, there is no company that does not generate data. So take a look at your company. We are generating data. That's a short thing. Like I said, there's no company, I repeat, there is no company that does not generate data. I said at the start of the session, data is everything. So take a look at the company. Do we even have a data analyst? If not, that could be your opportunity. Especially if you're looking to upskill. You're looking at the fact that, okay, if I can become a data analyst for this company, I'm going to get better pay. It's going to be a promotion for me. Okay, and then if you are already a lead, okay, maybe you're a manager, or maybe you're the CEO, you're the COO, whatever the case may be, or you're the founder, then you should be looking at how you can also influence your staffs, your employees, get them to be able to also build dashboards, to be able to also communicate insights. But if you are a lone person, you have you work in a company, go ahead and start getting things done. So build that portfolio, have that record, and then you can show that record so that you become the go-to person for clarity. That's one other way that you get to become the modern data analyst. And finally, automate and multiply yourself. Use tools like Power Automate, GPT. Do more in less time. Free up your brain power, because you need your brain power to think like a modern data analyst. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so I hope we had a great time. I hope we had a great time. Even though you're still with me, send an ice cream to the chat box, send an ice cream to the chat box. And maybe, should I take a question or two? I think I'm going to take questions at the end of the session. Okay, because we're not done. Okay, we're not done. I believe Treasure. Ice cream, thank you very much, Blessed. I'm going to take questions while we wait on Treasure to take us through the next part of the session. Okay, but if you have questions for me, you can use the raise hand icon. Okay, so I'm going to take questions at the end of the session. So, Treasure.
No, let's take so you can go on. You can take questions
okay,
now.
Let's take questions now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. All right, then that's fine. So, I can see Blessing, you have a question. Blessing, please go ahead and ask your question. You can unmute, please. Hello, Blessing. You are not allowed. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, try it again. Try it again.
Yeah. Thanks. I'm here.
Okay. Go ahead and ask your question, please.
Yeah. So my question is now is I'm seeing the question like the topic of the listener is modern days analysis and the olden days analysis. So now my question is now, because I've been able to like see few analysts, but to me it's practically not convincing. I know that once you have the knowledge, this is someone just coming into the data analyst world or the data science world. So my question now is like, I've seen people like just briefly people or scientists or data scientists, but I see them that unlike compared to like other areas of this, like the money making in it. I don't know, maybe you could just enlighten something like that. I don't know if you get my question or get me.
Okay, I believe you're talking about what the earning power. You're asking about the earning power of a data analyst, right?
Yes, because compared to maybe it's people I'm seeing around or the data analysts have been able to like compare to.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna tell you this.
Because yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, now like, I'm asking you now because I've seen that you have a quite number of years of experience and you'll be able to like work with higher position in the data science world.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Blessing, for that question. Now, the question was about the earning power of a data analyst or of a data scientist, because the people that Blessing know, it's not really looking so good at the moment. I'm going to give you a stat. Okay, in the UK, the average, the median. I'm going to use median. The median salary of a data analyst is around £50,000, and you can check this out. It's around £50,000. That's for a data analyst. Okay, in the US, it's around $60,000 to $70,000 in the US. Being a data analyst is not just building dashboards for one or two individuals. Being a data analyst is a career path. It's not a side gig. Even when you are a freelancer, even if you become a freelancer, let's say you want to be a freelancer, even as a freelancer, there's a way that you position yourself as a freelancer when you freelance for actual organizations and not. Let's get this right, because right now I'm thinking maybe the data analysts that you might know are the data analysts that help maybe because I'm aware that this is done as well. maybe for individuals say that are trying to work on their project work in school, maybe their final project work, and they need someone to help them analyze the data, and then look for someone by the side, like, please, their data analyst, and then pay them 20,000, I believe you're in Nigeria, 20,000 there or 40,000 there to get to get to for them to just help them work on their project work. That's I don't even want, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay, you can also take a look at the average pay. Take a look at the average pay. You can go on Glassdoor, for instance, or on Indeed, and take a look at the average salary for a data analyst in Nigeria. You can take a look at that, the average pay for a data analyst in Nigeria, and you'll notice it's actually worthwhile. Because from what you've said right now, it seems like, oh, it's just it's something some people do to survive. No, it's not. It's a full-on career path. So you just have to broaden your horizon, not just the people you know, because it's very, very likely from everything you said, very, very likely that people you know as data analysts, first of all, I don't even think they're data analysts. I think they're dashboard builders. Okay, but that the people you know are probably, and I use the word probably, okay, they are probably not working full-time as a data analyst. Probably have something that they're doing, and then you have someone from the side that's not even a company that says, please, can you help me work on this data for my project work? I need to submit it to my supervisor like tomorrow or something. So that's a difference. That's entirely different.
All right. My question has been asked. Thanks. I think
Okay.
we're moving on now.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Blessing. Any other question, or are we good? Okay.
Yeah, there's some questions.
So
okay, so there's some questions on the chat box. I'm just gonna take a look at that. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you very much, Hideo. Thank you. What's the best practice to becoming a data analyst for someone who has a full-time job and intends to transition into data analysis? The first thing is that you have to learn the skills. You don't have the skills, it's a no-go area. And of course, that's why Analytics is here. Analytics Business, Analytics, we're here to help you learn the skills. So you have to first of all learn the skills. Now, after you've learned the skills, it now has to be do with, are you looking to leave your current organization? I just gave a quick tip. Many organizations, every company generates data, but not every company has a data analyst. And that's a role you can easily step into, as long as you're able to show that you can improve impact and not just output. I talked about that earlier. But if you're looking to transition, maybe you're looking to move to another company, that's also fine as well. In Analytics, something that you'd also be shown is how you can go ahead to transition it from having, of course, your LinkedIn profile. Your LinkedIn profile has to be great. The kind of jobs you apply to. Many people just know LinkedIn. Many people just know LinkedIn and maybe Glassdoor as the place you go to apply to jobs. There are a whole lot of other sites. There are so many other sites that are available. If you're looking to become a full-time, if you're looking to become a full-time staff and also have a data analyst, also become a data analyst as a freelancer, then you could be looking at Upwork. Now, Upwork, I don't know if you're in Nigeria. If you're in Nigeria and you are successful on Upwork, you're gonna be a king, literally a king. Because of course Upwork pays in dollars, and when you do the conversion, maybe you can check that out as well. Upwork, if you're in Nigeria and you can get success on Upwork, you're gonna be in the top 0.001% of earners in Nigeria, and I'm not capping. I'm not capping. I'm not capping. So yeah, that's it. Matthew's asking £50,000. Is it going to give you a visa sponsorship? Yes. When it comes to visa sponsorship in the UK, there's what is called the skilled worker visa, where for every point there's for every criteria there's a number of points that you get to amass. That's the kind of job that you're looking to get, the salary that you're looking to get. The salary, the last time I checked, was around £30,000 to £40,000. Okay, that was the least. So £50,000 is definitely, it falls under that point where you can get certificate of sponsorship. That's a COS. Okay, it's called a COS, a certificate of sponsorship. So yes, Matthew, £50,000 actually qualifies. Again, you can check this out. You can go to the UK government's website. That's I think www.uk.gov. So you can check that out, and you're going to see all of that information there. I think that's all the question. I think that's all of the question. Can a data analyst play the role of a business analyst professionally? No. Data analytics and business analysis are two different things. Data analytics is the same thing as business analytics, but business analytics and business analysis are two different things. They are not the same. Business analysis is about documentation, it's about processes, it's about ensuring that an organization gets to where they want to be by optimizing their processes, looking at things that we can do better. At the moment, it takes us 5 days to get an item. Once the customer makes an order, it takes us 5 days to get that item delivered to the customer. How can we reduce that to 1 day? How can we improve our processes? A business analyst is all about stakeholder management, because you are speaking with multiple stakeholders, ensuring that projects are being delivered. It's very, very process focused. It is not data analyst, being a data analyst. There are two different things. A business analyst cannot be a data analyst. Like I said, except as a business analyst, if you learn the data tools, as a business analyst, you can also learn Excel, Power BI, SQL, and that's now going to open doors for you to be able to function as a business data analyst. But looking at the both roles traditionally, they are not the same. But like I said, data analytics is the same as business analytics. But data analytics is different from business analysis. So, I guess that's all.
All right. Thank you so much, Isosa. That was a very, very insightful session. Okay, more questions. Do you want to take the last two, Edwin and Suleiman, and then we can go into the second part of the session?
Okay, sure. So Edwin is asking, which is better, data analytics, data engineer, or data scientist? Okay, I think I'm the perfect person to answer this question due to my experience in the three different careers, really. And now I'm actually now in ops, so I'm not as technical as I used to be then. But business analytics is data analytics, data engineering, and data sciences. What's the best in terms of pay, everything? Data engineers earn the highest. As a data engineer, you earn more than a data analyst and a data scientist, most of the times anyways. Of course, you're going to have outliers. You're going to have some data scientists that earn a lot. But data engineers earn more than data analysts and data scientists. Now, does that mean and for data engineers, what you're doing is that you're helping the organization create the entire data pipeline. It's a lot more technical than data analytics or data science. It's a lot more technical due to the fact that you're going to be working with APIs, you're going to be working with you're going to be building pipelines, trying to get data from wherever the data is stored, for example, websites, ATMs, POS, getting all of that data and pushing it to a database. Without the data engineer, you can't have a data analyst or a data scientist, because the data engineer is the one that provides the data that the data analyst or the data scientist is going to go ahead to eventually analyze. Okay, so but on average, for example, in the US, data engineers earn around $110,000, $120,000 in a year. Okay, so they earn higher, but again, that should not be like I said, it's more technical. So any path that you decide you want to go, if you want to be a data analyst, you want to be a data engineer, you want to be a data scientist, looking at what you're going to be getting, especially when in terms of pay, it's definitely worth it. And Suleiman is asking, can I use SPSS software to analyze data instead of Excel, Power BI, SQL, and others? Companies do not use SPSS. If you have any company that uses SPSS, it's probably maybe 1 in a billion. Companies don't use SPSS. SPSS is an educational software. Anytime I hear SPSS, I'm pretty sure the person is referring to the university. In colleges in the UK, for instance, you have a lot of people that work with SPSS. Over in Nigeria too, you're working on a project or SPSS. SPSS is not a business tool. It could be used for business, but organizations don't use SPSS. What you see is you have your Excel, your Power BI, your SQL and the rest. Even when it comes to Python, organizations use Python. Fewer and fewer as the day goes by. The number of organizations that use R reduces. So you have Python. Python is go-to. When people, I would not even advise you to learn R. Some people will be like, "Oh, don't learn R." No, go and learn Python instead. So they do the same, and Python is more widely used. Blessing is asking, when joining a new team, what's the first thing an analyst should focus on to make an impact fast? When joining a new team, the first thing that you have to do, ensure that you get the data. Speak with the stakeholders. Find out the stakeholders in your team. Just find a way to talk to the stakeholders. It could be your direct manager. Ask, what problems are we having at the moment? What are the business problems? Because like I said, a data analyst, you are a problem solver. So what are the business problems? Oh, this, we're having a problem with this, we're having a problem with that, this is what we're trying to do. Then ask, do we have data about all of these? For example, maybe the problem is we're trying to improve sales. Okay, of course, we should have sales data. So then the next thing you ask is for the sales data. Then you start your analysis with that. And your analysis should be guided towards how can I improve sales? So what do I think? What is the data telling me? What is the data telling me that I can do to improve sales? So that's how you make an immediate impact as a data analyst. Matthew's asking, I need some insights on the data jobs with visa sponsorship. At the moment, I'm in the UK. Okay, so Matthew, the data jobs with visa sponsorship, the jobs that you're looking at that offers visa sponsorship, you have the data analyst, you have the data science, you have data engineering. You talked about data, so those are the two main ones. But the different programs or the different career paths that I usually recommend: data analytics, data science, data engineering. You can also be a financial analyst as well, or HR analyst. Those are subsets of data analytics. And then you have your agile project management, your business analysis as well, cybersecurity. Those are the roles that are very, very high in demand in terms of in the UK, and in terms of roles that would offer you visa sponsorship that checks all of those boxes from pay and yeah. I think that's all. I think I'm going to end here. I think if I keep going, I'm going to see more questions are going to keep coming. So thank you, everyone. I really had an amazing time, and I believe we can speak some other time. Cheers.
Yeah. So if you really want to get more information or you have questions, please just fill out the attendance. And then, once we email you, you can email us your questions and we'll relay them to ISOSA so that you can get proper clarity. We can also schedule a call just to give you more information in regards that particular aspect. Thank you so much, Isosa. It was amazing listening to you. I think we all learned so much from today's session. And quite a number of people had questions in regards how to get started as a data analyst. You're looking to optimize your skills, you're looking to transition, and you don't know how to go about it. Going back to Isosa's slide, he said the very first thing we need to do is for you to be able to learn the fundamentals. Okay, what are the fundamental skills or tools that you need to learn as a data analyst? You have Power BI, Excel, and quite a number of tools. And that's where we as an organization come in, because we are an analytics business and we offer training end to end in this regards. So basically, for analytics business, I'm going to run through this very quickly. We ensure that we provide training to individuals and make sure that it is customized to your particular department if you're joining as an organization. But we also cater to individuals that are looking to upskill. So if you're looking to transition into data analytics, or you are a school teacher, nurse, economist, whatever industry you currently are, and then you're looking to transition, data analytics is a good aspect for you to get started. Some people say it doesn't pay well, but you'll be ridiculously surprised how much you get to earn as a data analyst when you have the right skills and experience backing it up. As an organization, you have a customer person, you have a talent person, and they have all this data manually, they're imputing it, there's nothing automated. You are going to be losing a lot of money in terms of productivity. So how can you basically improve your productivity for staff? You need to train them in data analytics. It makes their life easier, it makes yours easier, and it basically helps you get more sales. So some of the things that we do in analytics business is we make sure that we offer you continuous support. So people that are looking to get started in data analytics, you're not just going to be getting a certificate. For LinkedIn optimization, if you're looking to achieve that, you can also come to us. Okay, some people look for a reference letter, you can come to analytics business. If you're looking to train your staff, you can also come to analytics business. These are some of the benefits you get, on this aspect. If if you are HR looking to train your staff and you want to monitor the progress of their activities, you get them registered on the platform. You get them to take the training. It's a very short training, but it goes a very long way in terms of difference that it makes in their activities. Another thing is we don't do theories here. This session was just to get you to understand what it looks like to be a data analyst. But you're looking now, what will you be doing? You'll be creating dashboards. You would learn the different function when it comes to Excel. You'll be building pivot tables. For reporting, you'll be learning how to, make use of colors, how to use your slicers, how to represent data, as it should be. And basically for individuals, organization that has low accountability rates, you go for training, you take your staff for training, and they come back, there's no return on investment. We can track the activity. So these are some of the benefits if you are registering in analytics business. I basically mentioned this. We've worked with different sectors, financial services, FMCG, oil and gas. At the start of the conversation, he mentioned our training with Skuda, MTN, Fair Money, Arik Air. We've worked with a lot of industries. So we have a lot of experts that can take you on this training. So you can go through these videos. If you go to our platform on YouTube, you have access to all these videos. I played it at the start of the session. So, these are some of the organizations we've worked with. So let's go to the main aspect of today. So we are going to be having an open program that is tailored specifically to data analytics and reporting system. So if you are looking to learn or get more insights about Excel, Power BI, right now would be a good time to start. Okay, this training session will be happening July 30th to the 1st of August. And you might want to ask, what am I going to be learning? You'll be learning how to build dashboard in both Excel and Power BI, which are very strong visualization tools, data visualization tools for organization. You also be learning how to automate data cleaning. So some of us don't even know how to use the trim function, proper function, and all this will make your tasks as an individual easy. Okay, it's something that even like teachers or whatever industry you're coming from, you can easily adapt and learn. Basically, for the business, based off the data visuals that you have, you can be able to make insightful decisions. So it plays across all fields, whether you're an individual or an organization looking to upskill. This is a point where you need to get it done. At the moment, the original price for the training is 200,000 naira. Okay, and by next week Friday, the discounted price will be going off. So by giving discount for the first 20 people, and we already have 5 slots filled, so we have 15 more slots to go. This is a good time to just get started. Log in. It's an investment for yourself, okay, as an individual. For an organization, it's an investment for your staff. You can pick one person from each department to get this training. Data analytics is something that you use in both health, finance, hospitality, whatever department or whatever organization or industry you're currently playing in. It's a very strong aspect for you. So basically, all you need to do is go to the Analytics Business Open Program. I'm sure my colleagues will drop the information on the platform and you redirected to our website. So this is the Analytics Business website. Like I rightly mentioned, these are the details here on here. So if you want to get more information, this fee will basically include expert facilitators. So people like ISOSA would be taking you training end to end. We're not going to be talking, oh, this is what you need to do as a data analyst. You're going to be practicalizing. You go into the Excel sheet, you work with messy data, you clean the data, you visualize the data, you analyze the data, and basically you can put that information on your LinkedIn, especially if you're transitioning to tech as a data analyst. You have access to expert facilitator. We also have an LMS platform. You have 3 months access to it where you have videos, course videos, in regards Excel, Power BI. You have access to course materials. You get certificates for this training. And our certificate, by the way, is accredited by 2 platforms. We have the NDPL Trust Mark, and we're also accredited by the American Council of Training and Development, especially for those who are looking to get remote jobs. These are really good opportunities, based off the character of the certificate itself. It has a global recognition, so it will be really good if you take this training and have the certification as well. And basically you'd also be working with like personalized learning dashboard. You get to network with other individuals. Okay, right now we've trained quite a number of people, and it will be especially for those looking to move out of their organization or just reach out to more people, to be a good point to network with individuals. So like I said, limited slots available. It's 150K. simple investment you can have on the platform, and you basically get to have more insights. That is pretty much it. I don't know if there are any questions in regards to the open program, or data analytics, or anything you'd like to share before we close out for today. If there are any questions, you can just raise your hands and we can take your questions. Any questions so far? Okay, I would take that it was very, very clear and we all had insight into that. So it would be really nice if we can have you join the session. You'd have a very strong expert take you Excel, BI, and like I mentioned, can you pay twice? No, we only accept one, payment at once. So if you are looking to make payments, you just pay the 150K and then, you go ahead to take your training. Any other questions? Who can I get in touch with after? Okay, so you can send me an email directly. I'm just going to put my email in the chat, or you can reach out to Tenalytics Business. Either ways. What is the duration? It's just for 3 days, actually. 3 whole days. 9 a.m. You just dedicate 3 days, especially for people that are working. We understand that it's not easy to get leave and all that. So it's on the later part of the week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you're good to go. You have your certificate that shows that you're certified in making use of Excel and Power BI from July 30th to August 1st. It will be an intensive class to be working back to back in terms of the practical aspect, cleaning data, making use of functions, how to create pivot tables, how to create dashboards. All this will be taken in the class. So you can have better looking dashboard when doing your presentation, high level for managers, you understand and analyze data better. I don't know if that question is complete. You say when you say 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., is there something more, some more clarification you need on that? Idowu, you can unmute and speak if you have any specific question. Do you mean at a stretch? There would be breaks in between, but yes, it's basically for that particular day. So 9 a.m., you have like 9 a.m. to 11:30, then there'll be a break to 12, then 12 again, 12 to 1:30, then there's a break, and then, from, I think, 2 o'clock to 3 p.m., then you finalize with your class. So that's it at a stretch. The class will be virtual just like it is right now. And the good part of it is the session will also be recorded and you have access to the recording. So, if at any point you miss any vital information, you can always go back to watch the videos and get more clarity on whatever aspect was discussed. I hope that clarifies. Okay, I will take that as a yes. So once you, the account details is on the screen. So in case you want to go ahead, all right, sounds good. In case you want to go ahead to make payments, it will be a good time to do that now. There are limited slots, 150K, the 150K you want to use to enjoy. This is a very good investment as an individual, as a professional, to your career growth. Just go ahead to do it, make that payment, make that investment, and I promise you, you'll get value for your money. Like really good value for your money. So this would be something, you can tell your friends, in case it might not be personally for you, you can speak to your organization if you need sponsorship from your organization as L&D. If you have it in a group, it's better because you have 5% off for participants, 3 participants, 7.5% off for more than 3 participants as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If you want to get more information, you can have a clarity session as well. Just go to the website and book a demo session. We can have a clarity call just to clarify any issues that you're having in regards to the platform or anything in regards data analytics as well. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in the session starting July 30th to August 1st. It was a pleasure speaking to everyone. Thank you for joining in today and have a great rest of your evening. Thank you, everyone, and bye for now.